We are back once again for another reading vlog, and I say this every time, and I also say that every time too. I'm very repetitive, but I can't wait for this one. I've been meaning to get around to some of these books for a while. I don't actually know how many books we're gonna read in this vlog, so I'm gonna only tell you about them as and when I read them, because I don't want to set myself too ambitious of a goal, because all of these books are hefty books. So I don't want to say we're going to read 3 and then we only read 2, or 3, you know, or only say 2 and then we read a third. I don't know. So I am planning to read at least 2, but you know, we will see. But today's going to be a Kindle reading vlog because I don't own any of these books and I can't be bothered to buy them. But we are going to be reading popular TikTok romantasies. And I can't wait. This one's actually a newer one, but people are talking about it, people are saying it's good. I want to give it a go. Yes, this is a slightly newer one, and then they're all newer, like in the last few months. These have really blown up on TikTok and gone popular and people are talking about them, but this one is very new. I've only seen a couple of booktubers talk about it, but I've heard good things, and it's on Kindle Unlimited and it got me excited, and I thought I want to read this with you guys in a vlog. So the first book we are picking up is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I don't know loads. I do know that this is being marketed as Caraval meets Throne of the Fallen. I haven't read Throne of the Fallen yet, but I am familiar with Envy. I have read the Kingdom of the Wicked series, so I feel like I know roughly what vibes that's going to give. And then obviously Caraval I have read and loved, so apparently it's just a little bit of a darker romantasy-esque version of that, and I can't wait. And apparently there's, my eyelashes are getting stuck together, apparently there's a phantom that I'm going to fall in love with and be obsessed with, and I can't wait. So I think it's gonna be good. I haven't really read any of these like silly, goofy, TikTok popular romantasy books. Haven't really read any of them. I'm not gonna name some because some of them might feature in this vlog, but you know, haven't really read any. Tend to stick to more serious, like traditionally published authors, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking about like Once Upon a Broken Heart, or Divine Rivals, or Fourth Wing. You know, I've read those, but I haven't read any of these more like, you know, Kindle specials. So we're gonna start Phantasma today. I think she's big. I've seen a physical book, albeit through a screen, in Sarah Caroli's hand, but I believe she's big. Should we have a look? 512 pages in the paperback. The Kindle is 461 pages apparently, so it's about 400 to 500 pages. She's not small. She's not as big as I thought though. I thought it was closer to 600, which I believe one of the other books I want to read in this vlog is, so there's that. But yeah, this is restarting, so I'm just gonna go. But I'm very excited about it. I can explain to you guys more what it's actually about once I've started it and gained a deeper understanding of everything, but I'm thoroughly looking forward to this vlog. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's go and start Phantasma. So I'm just loading up my PC so I can upload today's video, but I thought I would talk to you guys about our progress with Phantasma while I was doing that, because I have made progress. And I'm very, very excited to report that this book is really good. It's like really good. So I am 29% of the way through. I'm on chapter 17, if it will focus. And kind of what's happened so far is, you know, we laid the groundwork with our characters and kind of where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing in the story. And then we have entered Phantasma, which is basically this, it's almost like a haunted house type of vibe, but basically they're there for 9 nights, and every night, every night there's like a new trial that they have to complete in order to continue on to the next night. And I believe the winner gets a very large sum of money, and you find out in the beginning of the book why our characters need this large sum of money, why they would even go into Phantasma in the first place. And it's really good. I do really like the writing style. It's quite descriptive. The only thing is she keeps using the word onyx. Like, anytime something is black, no, it's onyx. Like, that's the only word she's using. But that's fine. You know, that's just her preferred word. I can deal with that. Let me open Chrome. Yeah. We've also met who I imagine is the love interest. I mean, come on. Oh my god, I need to sneeze a little bit. Yeah, come on. I'm already like a little bit obsessed with him. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. He seems like he's gonna be a fun time. So I'm looking forward to continuing this today. Yeah, I read 30% last night, so I don't think this is gonna take me a very long time to get through. I'm going out today briefly, so I'm gonna read this, you know, on the trains, as I always do. And I'm also potentially planning on reorganizing my bookshelves today, so that might take a minute, but this evening I definitely want to read a whole bunch more of this book because I'm loving it. It's really good so far. You know, I was saying to my friend, I'm one of those people where I see that something's gotten popular on TikTok, and in my brain I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna read that. Like, I don't, for some reason, I hate reading popular things. I cannot explain it. I don't know why, but as soon as my brain hears that something is like blowing up on TikTok, I'm like, don't want to read it, don't want to touch it. I do the same thing with TV shows and movies. But I need to stop doing that, because any time there's like something really popular and then I do decide to read it, it's phenomenal. Like Fourth Wing, loved it. This book, it's amazing. Like, it keeps happening. I'm sure there's more examples, but I kind of feel like Jacob in New Moon at the moment. Like, I can't list anything. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is I need to keep doing it, reading it. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I saved my video to, and I actually have no recollection. And I thought this when I did it. I was like, I'm not going to remember where I saved this video. I haven't remembered. I don't know where it is. Is it in here? Oh, I think it is. Let's see. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yep, okay. Found it. Anyway, I need to make a thumbnail now, so I need to go. But yeah, the plans for today are to read more Phantasma because it's great, and hopefully reorganize the bookshelves. And I have a couple of bets. Win! Knock it off. I have a couple of Elsie Silver books coming in the mail today from Amazon. I may potentially miss the delivery. If I miss the delivery and they don't like just leave it in our like building's little entryway, we won't be reorganizing the shops today. Hopefully I don't miss the Amazon package, but yes, those are my plans. Phantasma's great, and we can reconvene later on today for more updates. So, it is the next day once again, and I have some reading updates. Of course, I'm about to go to work, so Leon's making me a matcha. And I'm going to update you guys, drink that, and then I'm going to go. But I did read more of Phantasma last night. I don't remember where I was when I updated you guys last, but I'm now 53% of the way through, which is chapter 28. I have a feeling I was on chapter 17, but I don't like 100% know. But I'm now 53% of the way through, and it's so good. Like, it's really, really good. That's it. No, I'm kidding. You okay? You cringing? So where we're at now, we've had a couple more trials. And one thing, so I personally feel like trials in fantasy books are being overdone. Like, I feel like every fantasy book at the moment has trials, but I'm trying to give it a chance because it is so popular, and the trials in this are so unique. Or maybe they're not, because people are saying it's like Throne of the Fallen, and maybe these trials are like the ones in Throne of the Fallen. I haven't read that. I don't even know if there is trials in Throne of the Fallen. But to me, and what I have read thus far, like in terms of different kinds of books, and then this one, the trials are really unique. They're kind of based, not kind of, they are based off of the circles of hell, and each one relates to one of the circles of hell, which is so interesting. But also just like the way the trials even relate to that. Like, I just read the one for greed. The greed trial is so unique and interesting, and I've never read anything like it, and it was really good. I love it. I also love all of the different like species. I'm loving all of the different kinds of like magical people things that are, like, you know, the phantoms, the devils, necromancy, like all of those different things. It's just so good and so fun. Loving the writing, apart from she is quite repetitive with her choice of descriptive words. We've already been through this, you know, onyx, ornate is a new one that keeps coming up, but I can live with that because it's a really good book. So yeah, I'm 53% of the way through. I'm gonna read as much of this today as I can and hopefully finish it today or tomorrow, which seems like ambitious, but I don't think it is. I think, let me check my reading time. 3 hours and 15 minutes left. I will have about an hour and 45 minutes of reading time at work, so that will only leave an hour and a half, which I could potentially do when I get home from work. So I don't think it's too ambitious, actually, to get this read, like, finished today. So that's my provisional goal, but we will see, you know, how it goes. But yeah, I'm loving this one at the moment, and I can't wait to pick it back up again. So I'm home now. It's the evening. It's, I don't even know, 10? 10 on the dot. And I read a whole bunch of Phantasma at work today and on my way to and from work. There's some fireworks outside if you hear any loud bangs. But I'm now 77% of the way through Phantasma. I only have an hour and a half left in the book. So we're gonna try and finish it today. To be honest, I don't really have any new thoughts that I haven't already shared with you guys, but I'm continuing to enjoy it. We are in the middle of kind of like the third act conflict, which I'm hoping is gonna resolve itself rather quickly, but you know, we're going through some more trials, and you know, I do think now that we're, you know, each trial, each phase of Phantasma is meant to be harder and more deadly. And I'm not sure if I'm really getting those vibes. Like, I do wish maybe some of the later trials, not that the trials themselves were worse, but maybe some of the consequences were a little bit worse. That's kind of how I'm feeling. But other than that, I'm loving it. Character development is great. It's just so quick and fun and easy to get through. There were a few spicy scenes when I was at work, and I was like just like really quickly tapping through them and not reading them, because even though literally not a single soul could see my Kindle screen, it felt like they could, and I felt embarrassed. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, an hour and a half, 10 o'clock, I'm gonna try and finish this book tonight, and I am very excited about it. I think it's gonna be a good ending. I hope the ending is satisfactory. But let's finish this, and then tomorrow we can move on to the next book. Also, you may have been able to hear typing then, I don't know. My apologies. If I waited until I read literally like 2 more pages, I wouldn't have had any complaints about the trials. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah. It was quite dramatic. We just made our matcha. This looks like it's gonna be a good one. Can you see? I don't know. It looks good. It is good. And I am here to report that we finished Phantasma. It's actually not the book cover right now. A little sneak peek to what we're reading next. But I did finish Phantasma last night. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I loved it. It was silly, it was fun, it was very like immersive. Like the Phantasma itself, where we were, like it was very immersive. I felt very in it. And yeah, it was just great, to be honest. The only thing is I felt like the ending was a little bit too convenient. I didn't guess the twist, which I feel like is really stupid of me. I feel like it was quite obvious. Like in hindsight, I'm like, of course that was the twist, like of course it was, but I didn't guess it. However, everything else that happened just seemed really convenient. Like all of a sudden every problem had a perfect solution, if that makes sense. But other than that, it was great. I loved like the romance, the characters, the games were very interesting. Yeah, last night when I was complaining that like the games almost weren't high enough stakes, yeah, if I just read like 3 more pages, things went down. It was intense. It was quite graphic. But yeah, it was like my first dark fantasy, and I really enjoyed it, and I especially enjoyed it for October. So I want to see, you know, look into more books within the dark fantasy genre and see what I can find to pick up. Yeah, so that's Phantasma done, and I can't wait to read the second one and see what the characters get up to in that. I am aware it's following different characters, by the way. That made it sound like it was a continuation. It's not. They're like two interconnected standalones, I think. But now we are going to start, well, not right now, but we're going to start the second book of the vlog. And that is none other than Quicksilver. Winifred? No. Yeah. That is none other than Quicksilver. This has been blowing up on TikTok, probably more so than Phantasma. This has been really, really popular. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually have read, or I listened to someone read out the synopsis, and I still have no idea what this is about. All I know is that I think our main character, gets transported to some icy cold fae realm. It's kind of all I know. Also, I read the pronunciation guide and like the first page, and I already know this book has classic fantasy name syndrome. Like, none of these names are pronounceable. They're completely made up. They're very bizarre. And I do think a lot of the names I'm going to be going like, in my head. And like, just reading over them. Because, I don't know, like, how they're spelled as well doesn't, like, look like how they would be said. Based on what I read from the pronunciation guide. So there's that, you know. Also, like, the first name on the pronunciation guide, like how to pronounce it, I also couldn't pronounce, which I thought was kind of funny. I was like, I don't even, yeah, I think it's Saris, but like it's Sair and then -iss, Ser. Like, how do you even say that one? I don't know how you say that one. I think it's Saris. I'm Rusarius? Omnamshakrai? Like, guys, come on, what are these fantasy names? Ishabel, okay, that one's fine. Bellicon, okay. Oshaleth, Taladeus, Dianthus, Laura, Balkadir clan, Taylena, Danya? Okay, actually, maybe I'm taking it back. Maybe they're okay to pronounce. Maybe I'll get the hang of it. I might like take pictures of this pronunciation guide so that I can look at it on my phone when I'm reading, because it does seem slightly difficult, but I think I'll get there. So yeah, we're gonna be reading Quicksilver now. What? I don't know if I said, but I agreed to some overtime. So I'm going into work 2 hours early today, so that will be fun. But I'm just like helping count cash before the store opens, so I don't actually think it will be that bad, but I did do that. So it's like 9:15 and I have to go in a minute. So yeah, I'm gonna start Quicksilver on the train. Hopefully it's not too difficult to comprehend on the train, because sometimes I struggle to like start books on the tube, but we will see how that goes. And when I'm home from work this evening, I will let you guys know how much I've read and my first initial thoughts on Quicksilver. So I'm now 12% of the way through Quicksilver. I'm not sure how I'm feeling. Like, I feel like the author is trying to do too much with not enough explanation. Like, there's so much going on. The world system and the way it works has not been explained. Like, I think there's like districts within the like kingdom, and each district has like different privileges or lack thereof. But that's me making assumptions, because that's not been said. You know, like the way the world works hasn't been explained. Like, there's some things that other characters are saying to our main character that just have no context and have no meaning yet, which is confusing. And then she just did something. It's kind of in the blurb about this, like, sword thing. Yeah, something just happened with this sword thing, and I don't understand it in the slightest, and I don't understand its relevance or what it means, or why, when she did what she did, what happened. Like, I don't understand any of it. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna keep reading, but I'm enjoying this significantly less than Phantasma. I'm also not, like, the biggest fan of any of the characters thus far. I mean, we only have one that's kind of like a solid character who I believe is going to be prevalent throughout the whole thing. And she's, like, not... She's, like, okay. But she's, like, not my favourite. And I haven't met him yet, but I know that the main guy's name is Kingfisher, and I just think that's such a silly name. And I'm not sure how I feel about that for, like, a main love interest. So I'm not predicting that this one's going to be my favourite, guys, but I'm still going to give it a shot, and I'm going to try and finish it over the next 2 days. But I'm just confused. Maybe if I start, you know, learning more with some explanations, maybe I'll start enjoying it more. But right now, because I have no fucking clue what's going on, I'm not enjoying it. So we'll see if that improves. I'm going to try and read more today, tomorrow, Wednesday, all of the days. And I guess we'll just see how it goes. It's not going great. Let's say that. So, just a little bit of an update. It's Tuesday. I think I spoke to you guys. Yeah, I spoke to you guys yesterday. It's 5:23 today though, and I've been reading for hours, honestly. Like, basically all I've done today is read. I watched like 2 YouTube videos, and then other than that, I've just been on this thing, reading. And I'm now 52% of the way through, which I believe is around page 350. And I'm feeling very differently to it than I was last night. Last night I actually thought I was gonna, like, I wasn't gonna DNF it because I want to read it for the video, but I was like, I kind of want to DNF it. And I think it's just because, like, it's quite just a big world with a very extensive and complicated magic system. And I think because there's so much to it, there had to be a lot of things that happened before it was able to be even remotely explained. I think maybe we could have had a little bit more explanation, but I also understand, you know, why it took so long for things to be explained and why we didn't really know what was going on. However, it didn't have to be written in such a complicated way. I think what it was is, like, it was almost written like we were expected to know what was going on. There wasn't, you know, like a lack of unknown in the narrative. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but I'm enjoying it a lot more now. So much has happened. Obviously, we went from around 12% of the way through to 50. And yeah, I'm enjoying the characters. I'm a little bit more used to Fisher's name now. I think it's because we're, like, calling him Fisher instead of Kingfisher. Kingfisher is just so stupid. Although now I'm, like, thinking there's a lot of bird names, because we also have carrion. And isn't like a carrion bird? Isn't that a thing? Let's have a look. I think it's a thing. A crow. So a carrion is a crow, and then obviously we have a kingfisher, which is also a type of bird. It's kind of funny though, because it's like such a tiny little bird. This guy is meant to be like massive, so who knows, but anyway. Yeah, the magic system is being explained more. We've had some changes in the, you know, kind of where we are in the world, which is interesting. There was a character that I really liked who isn't really being shown anymore, which I'm sad about, because I really liked that character. Hopefully they come back. I've heard that, like, there's a lot of twists in this, like something will happen and you think that will be like the big plot twist, and then like another twist will happen. That's kind of what I've heard. So I am intrigued on how things are going to twist. I can't really, one thing, I'm not really predicting any of this, to be honest. Like, would I say it's predictable? Maybe, and I know that's the biggest contradiction. But I'm just like, I'm not guessing where anything could go, but when it goes that way, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. You know? Does that make sense? Like, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading this. I have about 4 hours and 40 minutes left in the book, so I want to try and read as much more of it tonight as I can. I don't think I'll be able to finish it, but also when I'm near the end of the book, my reading speed picks up, so there is a chance I could knock like an hour off of that reading time. So we'll just have to see, but worst comes to worst, we will be finishing it tomorrow morning. I don't know if I'll update you guys again, unless maybe I can give you guys some like live reactions to some crazy plot twists. I don't know, but I'm sorry if I had like ramen juice on my chin just then. I don't think I did, but oh, excuse me, I digress. We are going to be trying to finish Quicksilver today or tomorrow. So it is the next day from when I last updated you guys, and I did decide to not update you again yesterday, and I'm just doing it today because I have finished Quicksilver. I finished it this morning. I had about 2 hours left of the book when I went to sleep last night, and then when I woke up I managed to do it in basically like an hour and 20, and it was saying 2 hours, like 10 or something, so I basically shaved like a whole hour off of my reading time this morning, and I just flew through it. Those last like couple of hours reading had the like wildest, most unsuspected plot twists and stuff. Like, I feel like so much was going on. Again, it's one of those situations where it's like, that was kind of obvious that was gonna happen. One of the things was really obvious. I could smell it from a mile away, but it's one of my favorite tropes, so I was very happy. I feel like my fringe looks weird, my bangs. Yeah, I could smell that from a mile away. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I love it. It works every time. I will never get sick of it. It was like making me giggle or kicking my feet. Like, I loved it. Yeah, the rest of the plot twist didn't see coming. Was thoroughly surprised. There was a couple of times where I was just like reading, like laying down, and I'd be like, wait a second, what is about to happen? You know, like it was fun. I was being a hater. I revoke that. I apologize. I think just like the first 10 to 15% of the book was classic fantasy, you know, where we're trying to build the world. I just didn't feel like I was getting enough explanation for the world building, but now I kind of see that there was somewhat a point to that, and we got there in the end, and I don't really have any outstanding questions. I am excited for the second book. I thought it was going to be a Phantasma situation where it was like interconnected standalone fantasies. I think this is going to be like an actual series. That does make me worry for the romance, but I'm hoping, I personally would enjoy it if, you know, we've solidified the romance and then for the rest of the books we just have a strong romance and then we have like the crazy fantasy going on. Like, I kind of hope nothing happens to our main couple. Like, I want them to be good. Please don't, like, break them up at the end of book 2 to give something to happen in book 3. Like, just let it rest. Yeah, let's just leave it be, because I really liked it. I'm settling on a 4-star for this one. It was great. I hate this cover. This is not what Fisher looks like. Like, no. Absolutely not. He had more of like a Cassian vibe in my head. Like, more rugged, as opposed to like a Xaden or a Reese or a... do I bracket Carden in there? Maybe. Like a softer, tall, dark and handsome. He wasn't giving that for me. He was giving more rugged. He was giving a bit of a Cassian vibe. And I feel like this isn't giving that. This is not him. I hate this cover. I would have bought a physical copy if the discreet cover was still in print, but it's not, so we're gonna remain copyless and it will be a Kindle series for me. But that's fine. The only thing I didn't like, because this is one of the first like proper fantasies I've read on my Kindle, didn't like that I couldn't go back to the map very easily, so I was a bit disorientated within our world most of the time. But that's on me. I could have gone back. I just couldn't be bothered, you know? Couldn't be bothered for it. But yeah, love the plot. I came to really love our characters. There was one character that I wish had more page time, and I'm excited to hopefully see them in the next book more, because I really enjoyed, you know, their foundations. But it was good. Yeah, 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. And then obviously we're going to end the vlog here, so I'm just going to quickly wrap up Phantasma as well. I do think that was my favourite out of the 2. I think Phantasma is more my kind of fantasy as opposed to this. I love this, but I feel like I've read a lot of this kind of fae story. Like, it just feels really familiar to me, and I feel like I can see where we're going from a mile away, because I know like the formula of a fae book. Even though I didn't grasp the plot twist, like, its core elements, I knew where we were going. And I feel like I said that about Phantasma, but actually I kind of didn't, and I have still very fond feelings looking back on it. I mean, I only read it at the beginning of this week, I think. When did I finish it? Like maybe last week. I don't remember. It's Wednesday today, guys. I don't remember when I finished the book, but I did really love it, and I'm actually sad that that one is a interconnected standalone, and now that we're going to be following the sister, because I did really like Ophelia and Blackwell. It was a really good book, and perfect October vibes. If you guys are looking for a kind of like spookier, darker fantasy, I would definitely recommend Phantasma specifically for October. I think it works. It will work best in this month, whereas Quicksilver is a little bit, you know, more flexible. But yeah, I already spoke quite extensively, I feel like, on Phantasma, so I feel like you guys know how I feel, so I'm not going to keep talking about it. But I did end up really loving both of them. Like, yeah, this one did start to hit. You know, like I'm saying, I can predict the formula of a fae fantasy, like I know where we're going, I know what's going to happen. But I love it, and I eat it up. But also, outside of your stereotypical fae-ness, you know, the magic system in this one was actually quite unique with the Quicksilver, and there was a presence of a type of mythical being that I was not expecting, which I was pleasantly surprised about. It was a fun little added plot moment. Quite a big plot moment, actually. Yeah, it was quite unique at the same time as being like just like everything else I've read. The actual like magic system was very unique, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see how it develops and grows, because we didn't really wrap that up. Like where our main characters was wrapped up, I would say, but like, yeah, in terms of the magic system and the world, there's a lot more that needs to happen with that. That was left quite open-ended. So I'm very excited. It was meant to be out in October, the second book. Excuse me. But then Quicksilver got traditionally published. So the publication of the next book has been delayed until next year. But I'm happy to wait, and I will be picking it up on the Kindle, because I hate these covers, and I can only imagine what the next one is going to be like. But yeah, that was this vlog reading popular TikTok romantasies. I had a great time. You know, they're popular for a reason. They were good, they were enjoyable. They just hit every time. They just do. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out for more TikTok recommendations, because you know what, they don't get it wrong. Rarely. Maybe like a Coho book, maybe they're getting it wrong with that, but like a romantasy, yeah. I did want to read the Book of Asriel in this vlog, but I've run out of time, so I may, you know, I'm gonna keep that one in my mind and maybe pick that up soon, because I feel like that kind of falls under the same category. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have read either of these books and if you like them, or if you haven't, do you think now maybe you'll pick them up? Especially Phantasma, because it was borderline a 5-star read, you know? But yeah, in my next video, you've seen lots of sneak peeks behind me. I feel like I should cover it up. But I did a bookshelf reorganization, so that will be the next video up on my channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, I hope to see you there. Goodbye!